You certainly can't question anybody's effort tonight. You just couldn't get enough stuff going on, right? But they sure played hard.
They did, Doug. They did. It was really good segments for a lot of stretches. There was a rough stretch. Not exactly. It seemed like about the last 4 minutes of the first and the first 6 of the second wasn't good either way for that chunk. But the rest of it wasn't bad. We were fighting on D. Turned them over a lot, so we were active. Got some pretty good looks. Didn't probably make enough of them, but we did get a couple really really good offensive performances that from a few guys. So, and I thought everybody that stepped on the floor, contributed. Gary didn't have a very good offensive night, but he was working like heck on Levine a lot of the night. And I thought after the first quarter, Levine had a big start, and after that, we shut him down pretty good, I thought. So everybody did play hard.
When you see Chris put up a night like that, like it was almost the first 30 and 20 game ever by a Raptor, obviously you laud him for what he did tonight, but then you think, man, we could use that 16 or 17 other times this year.
Yeah, I mean, guys will have a night. He had a night, that's for sure. I mean, he was hitting shots I don't think I've ever seen him take before. He was dribbling, driving, stepping back. He was in a moment tonight, that's for sure. And but I thought he had some really good moments defensively too. I mean, he had a couple mishaps too at the rim, but I thought he protected the rim a lot tonight, and obviously was a problem on the glass at both ends for them. He was really good rebounding, and seemed like anytime we drove it deep, he was there to collect the miss, and tip it back in. And so big night for him. Really, really, really proud of him. Happy for him, and this is a good time. He's getting to start now, and he's getting big minutes, and he's at least tonight taking advantage of it for sure.
Great, thanks, Nick, very much. Have a safe trip to Cleveland.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. We'll go to Michael Grange.
Hey, we touched on this a little bit before the game, but did it feel like a big game? Given where you guys are in the standings, and there was a tiebreaker in play, and so how do you look at it now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit like I told you before the game. I thought, we were trying to keep it, fairly, let's kind of, we got not much to lose here. I mean, I know there's a lot at stake, but when you're playing with only 8 and missing a bunch of guys, you got to kind of try to relax them a little bit. And obviously we got off to a great start. We were ready to go. Energy was awesome. And again, like we talked about with Doug, I think they hung in. It got away from us there for a bit, and we battled all the way back to, having a chance. Actually, we were getting stop after stop after stop, and had it, I think, to 7 with a couple 3 balls that didn't go, and we could have really made it really interesting there. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, the schedule and the injuries and suspensions and COVID and all that stuff is not great timing for this game of this magnitude, Michael.
No, it's not. Anyway, have yourself a good night. Thanks for
listening. Thanks. Yep.
We'll go to Stephen next.
Coach, I was just wondering, obviously, given how shorthanded you guys were, more shots need to be distributed. But were you happy with the 17 shots OG took? Were you happy with the looks he was taking? Was it a matter of they just weren't dropping? I'm
glad he got 17 cracks at it, Stephen. All right, I think there's probably 3 or 4 in there that maybe were a little tough, pretty hard guard off the dribble threes or things like that, and got himself into some tight jams on some of his drives too. But he didn't have a very good game going, but I think he ends up playing pretty well late in the game, right? And got to be happy with his 6 assists, right? I think that's got to be pushing the number up there for him pretty good. So I know 5 for 17 doesn't look great, but I thought he played well.
And then there was that moment there, near the end of the game, where Malachi Flynn, he had that great drive. He just kind of missed the layup, kind of slaps the ground there. Did you kind of talk to him about that moment? Because he looked very, very frustrated for obvious reasons.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he was disappointed about it, and just just told him to shake it off, keep playing. There was still a little bit of the game left to go. I think we were down 8 or 10 there. Would have, it's kind of like that one last possession to stay in it, and he worked so hard, made such a great move. It's too bad it didn't go in for him, but pretty happy with him. I thought he played solidly tonight. Again, 3 for 11 doesn't look great, but 7 assists, only turned it over twice, played 35 minutes. Those guys he's playing against, Sadaransky, Levine, Kobe White, those are good, talented players with a lot of athleticism and size, and I thought he had a steady game out there, good floor game.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks a lot, Nick.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
We've got two more for you, Coach. We're going to start with William Liu.
Hey, Coach. You complimented Gary about his defense against Levine. It seemed like you had Utah matched up against Levine as well. What did you make of that assignment? Because obviously that's a player that's a little bit smaller than Utah, and maybe he's not always guarding guards, but what did you make of his defense?
Yeah, Utah can pretty much guard any position. I mean, he's probably 5 is probably the one spot he doesn't match up great at, right? But he really can move his feet, and he's going to work. We went to a little box and 1, and that's a great assignment for him. We tell him go nose to nose, 94 feet, and Yuta does that assignment really well. I know he got a steal there. I thought Yuta played really good tonight. Probably should have played him some more as well as he played tonight.
And just defensively, I mean, the Bulls seem to move the ball really well. Obviously, you were sending a lot of attention towards Zach and a little bit towards Vucevic in the post as well. Do you feel like that was just a case of the Bulls just playing really well and moving the ball and sort of beating the defense that you had set for them?
Well, it always is a little, usually, William, a combination of a couple things. They got us a couple times on some of those double teams, but we didn't quite execute them the way you need to, right? Like, I just give you an example, like Vucevic catches it and he makes a really easy, like one-handed, right-handed pass right down the lane for a cutter for an easy layup. So, and then you might have noticed in the second half, we showed him those clips at halftime, and the second half he tried to make those same plays and we were tipping the ball out of there because that's kind of the pass he was making. We had to get a hand in that lane. So we just needed the timing of the double, the pull in on the weak side improved, but it wasn't great a few times, and they made us pay the times that it wasn't great.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you.
We're going to wrap up with Aaron.
Hey, Nick. It seemed like obviously you guys were lacking without some point guards tonight, and it seemed like Pascal had the ball in his hands more than usual.
Yep.
Do you feel like you saw something from him or you learned something about how he's able to play with the ball in his hands more without those guys?
Well, it gave us an opportunity. I mean, forced us into an opportunity, but we'll take it as given an opportunity to let Pascal handle a little more. Probably noticed we ran some high screen and roll stuff for OG as well. Even Stanley ran the point when Malachi was not in some. It gives us a chance. I think you look at it, he had a lot of good reads out there, Pascal. A couple times it got a little sticky, he stayed in the middle. We didn't give him great space to operate. There's kind of some times where you can't go to work over and over again up there. You gotta just get off it to the next play and get a little bit more cutting and moving. But again, we're not, kind of doing a bunch of stuff on the fly here, and we can polish some of that stuff up here and film and walkthroughs and things like that going into the next one.
And the Bulls used a at least strange to me, a pretty big lineup with Markkanen, Tice, and Vucevic on the floor. That seems like the jumbo lineup that you guys talked about last year. What do you think of that lineup? Is that something you might see from the
Well,
league?
they've been doing it, so it didn't surprise me. We actually, they've been playing that right there, and I just think, those are 3 really good players, and you got to find some minutes for them, right? They're 3 really good players, and you got to. I mean, Markkanen was unbelievable tonight, and he played 18 minutes. He was unbelievable. Every time he touched the ball, something good happened, and every time we made a mistake, he made us pay, and he's only out there for 18 minutes. That's part of the reason they got to play him there, I think, is all 3 of those guys are worthy of big minutes.
I guess you mean something good for them and not you guys.
Yeah, something good for them. Good for them, yeah.